Hello.
Hello, ho, ho, ho,
Ho, ho,
ho.
ho. Well done. Welcome to the Christmas episode
Mm,
of That'll Be the Tism,
yeah.
which is a podcast about our late diagnosed and discovered lives as autistic and ADHD adults. And this is episode 18
Mm,
of the podcast. And in the past couple of weeks, we've had a little mini award from Spotify because we're still around and we've succeeded, which is
yay.
nice. And so today we're going to talk about how rubbish Christmas can be for autistic people. But before we get to that, we've got our Christmas implements on our heads.
Mm, briefly,
Brief.
because sensory issues.
Yeah. Claire doesn't like wearing anything on her head, and I've had these antlers on since we started talking over half an hour ago, and now I've got a headache starting, so I do need to remove them. For anyone listening and not watching, I have antlers on my head that are jangling. I think
Mm.
Steve will filter it out, but
No, I just heard that
did
then.
you? Marvelous.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a little bit of jangling on the podcast, but then we'll take them off. And I've got a giant Christmas pudding behind me that I knitted as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Very good.
that's exciting. So are we going to take off the implements and put the backgrounds on? We've spent some time
Yeah.
creating, well, Claire spent some time creating a Christmas background for the Tism, but it hides my antlers. So without further ado,
Well,
um,
we thought it was a nice backup, didn't we? So that it was still festive when I
yeah,
can't be bothered with this hat anymore, which is likely to be now.
I'm
It may
taking
not
that.
translate very well if you
Ah,
listen to us. However, they are
fine.
available on YouTube, and there is a video of us on every Spotify episode.
Mm.
If you do want to watch us be Christmassy.
It was the top 25% of videos we were in the Spotify Wrapped. It was quite nice, actually. Spotify Wrapped, it was quite validating.
But
Well,
otherwise, you'll just have to imagine that we're in a really Christmassy
really Christmassy.
scenario.
Claire made a Christmas cheese.
Yeah, that's him. We
That's
should name him, really.
Chris.
Brian.
Brian. Chedwin. Anyway,
Let
we're
us
not
know in
just
the
going to
comments what we should call our Christmas
sit.
cheese. Brian
sit.
or Chedwin? Chedwin? Edam?
It's just a name of a cheese. It's not really
Yeah.
a name.
Uh,
I mean, we could just sit here for the whole time and just try and think of names of cheeses,
well, I thought of that, yeah.
but I don't know.
Wensleydale.
Yeah. Or just double barreled
Mm,
with a hyphenated.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you've got any cheese name suggestions, let us know.
Thanks. But yes, welcome. How have you been, Claire?
Um, all right, I think. Can't even tell you what I've been doing since the last time that we spoke. I think it's remained relatively spoon-free for that week. Um, and then Bernie was at the vet's, so that was a hyper focus for the rest of the week because she had some blood tests for her medication and the bloods had gone a bit wonky. So I obviously just catastrophized about that for a fair amount of time. And then ChatGPT saved me, which was unusual because I'd never used it for that purpose. So it was about 6 o'clock when the vets rang, and I'd been waiting all day. So the anticipation of it that gets to you, doesn't it? And you're just like, huh. And then by the time that they'd rung, I don't think I was expecting the results that we got again. Like everything could still be all right, they're not concerned, but obviously that's not how my brain works. So I was Googling stuff for ages. My husband was like trying to help, but didn't really know what to do except for just go, she's going to be all right. Like she's been fine before. But then, I mean, I've never been one to like use ChatGPT for stuff before because obviously there's issues with it. So like, I'd heard of people using it as like a sort of processing thing.
Yeah.
And when I was Googling stuff, it was coming up in the AI at the top anyway. So I thought, well, I might as well just put what I know, what the vets told me into ChatGPT, which I did. And it like broke it all down to me as to why it wasn't worrying and what sort of things to look out for. And then the next day when she wasn't very well, she was sick. I'd put in again, like into the same chat, is this anything to worry about? And it's like, no. And I mean, I know you've got to be cautious with things like ChatGPT that it's not like hallucinating. No, everything's fine when you need to be doing something about it. But just the fact that it was backing up what my husband was saying, what you were saying, what the
Yeah,
vet was saying was instantly helpful. And also to be able to have it in one place that I took screenshots of it also that when I was worrying about it again over the next couple of days, I could look at it again and go, oh yeah, it is something to keep an eye on, but it's not like immediately life-threatening, touch wood,
yeah,
which is what's happened. I don't know whether I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but a couple of years ago, Bernie wasn't very well and she was really poorly. And it's like it brings that back every time. And it's the black and white thinking, isn't it, of
yeah,
just because something's been like that before, the next time it doesn't mean that it's going to be like that, but that's what your brain goes to, is what you know and the experience that you've had.
yeah. Which is why
Um,
I was saying, because last time it was like this, then the next time
mm,
it was fine.
mm,
So it's like, hopefully, this time it's like this, and then the next time it'll be fine. And then you've got a pattern of it happening twice
yeah.
where it's been bad and then got better. And
Mm,
then your brain will be able to see
yeah.
the pattern and see the improvement and take that rather than,
Mm.
I mean, you'll probably still catastrophize to a degree, but
I
yeah,
mean, now I think I've put a little pin in it again. But yeah, so that's a little sort of tip because when people have said to me about it before about using AI, I'm always a bit wary about it because you do have to be cautious with it. But when you're really struggling with a decision or to process something, sometimes it can be helpful, can't it, to just put it into there and just have something. It basically spit back out to you what you knew anyway.
yeah.
But
Also, it just summarizes it in an easy to digest format. I mean, I
mm,
very, very rarely use AI, as you know,
mm,
but if someone sends me a wall of text and I need to break it down, you can just chuck it into
mm,
ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever and say, I just need this in bullet points, please. Because it just makes that processing so much easier when you don't have as much
mm.
to digest. So it is a really good tool for a lot of neurodivergent people because it does help you rationalize and point the facts at you and I'll point you at the facts,
Mm.
you know. But yeah, I'm glad that it helped.
Yeah, it definitely did. It made me think afterwards to try and find something that was a bit more like. I don't think that there are many AI engines that are more eco-friendly, but I was reading about some that it was saying that the AI had basically solved something itself, so it needed to use like 40% less water. So I've
Right.
been needing to use it again. I think I would, and I probably still will use ChatGPT a hell of a lot less than some people do. No shade to anybody that does, because it's really useful so long as you know that the limitations of it and to take it with a pinch of salt, which can be hard. I can imagine that being difficult if you were,
If you're
if
in a
you,
difficult situation, I mean, it's
yeah.
it's good to help reframe and to help rationalize and add a good perspective, but it's just something to be used very carefully with. It's something that
Hmm.
needs to be used very carefully. I mean, yeah, the amount of resources that it uses, as you've said.
Mm.
Hopefully there has to be a solution because that's the way the world is going.
I
But
think so, and I don't want it to fully go that way because obviously there's writers and things like that and artists.
yeah,
It's not.
it's not creative though, that's the thing. It looks like it's creative, but it's not. It just nicks ideas from
Hmm.
other parts of the internet and merges them together and
Yeah.
uh,
You've got to find a bit of a middle ground with it, but it was really helpful that night. It was like
yeah,
to a point where my husband needed to go and do something, and he's like, "Are you all right if I go and do it?" And I know in my head it would have been absolutely fine, but like how I was feeling, like literally 5 minutes before, it would have been a no because I just didn't feel like I could cope with the thoughts and everything on my own.
yeah,
So, and
yeah,
that's the first time that's really happened, but yeah, it's just been another sort of steady couple of weeks for me, really. I have done some leaving the house. I went to see my friend from school, our friend of the show, at the weekend and drank 13.5% beer. £22 a pint. I didn't have a pint. I don't think they actually sell it in pints,
Ah,
which
okay,
is,
okay, okay, okay. That makes, yeah, that
mhm,
makes a lot more sense now, actually thinking about it.
yes,
Because were they selling it in thirds?
thirds or
Yeah.
like halves, I think. But obviously, my husband has got no sense of cost for anything. So I just said to him to save decision paralysis when we arrived, and I was a bit nervous. I was like, "Oh, you just go get me something." And he came back with it, and he was just like, "Go steady on it," which I did. And it was lovely. It was chocolate orange. I think you would have liked it. Do you
Oh,
like chocolate orange?
yeah. Yeah, anything that's
Um,
chocolate and beer, but I just can't drink. I'm not allowed to drink at the moment
mm,
on my med.
uh, but then I must have had it in the course of the night, like 4 drinks, and it was the most that it's affected me in a long time. Because the second drink, I was like, I need something like a little bit less hardcore. 'Cause I don't really drink a lot of beer.
No,
Uh, and I also don't like the feeling of being completely out of control with drinking as well. I like to have some sort of sense of what's occurring.
yeah,
But it was lovely to see them. The 13.5% beer definitely helped calm my nerves.
yeah. For being out of the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was lovely.
Good.
So you've had an exciting week, haven't you? You've had
I've had a few things happen. The first thing that I wanted to talk about was a quick update on the meds situation because I increased my dosage on
mm,
my meds last Friday after a fortnight, and that went up to 20 milligrams because they slowed my titration down after how angry I was last time after I reported that back. So my meds went up on Friday. I wrote myself a nice little post-it note to prepare myself that says, confusion is normal. You are safe. This is a transition and nobody hates you. Because they are the three things that it would have been useful to be keeping in mind
mm,
a fortnight previous when I was first starting the meds. And I've been a lot less angry. I've found there's been some sensory stuff. My teeth felt really weird to start with. And I was a bit anxious, but I've noticed it calming down my RSD. The social justice is definitely coming out, and I'm bothering less what people think of my reactions, and I'm not worrying as much about getting into arguments and having to stand my ground. So I think it's toning down my RSD and toning up my social justice as a result.
mm.
I've had a couple of interesting conversations on LinkedIn, and I'm standing up for things and I'm saying things without worrying as much about the consequences. So that's the direct communication of autism coming out. But yeah, the meds are going all right. I have had a reasonably good week for crafts. I finished my 2024 temperature blanket, which I said that I wanted to get finished before the end of this year. So I've successfully finished a 377 row crochet project, which is enormous for me. It's taken a little bit of getting my head around the fact that it's finished, but I filled the void with various Christmassy projects before I got onto wedding crafts. And then I've done some micro crochet with a 2mm hook, and that was quite cool. And so 2026 looks to be a very, very exciting craft-based year with the wedding. And the main thing I wanted to talk about is my steam cleaner because I am an old lady and that's where my fun lies these days. And I do feel a bit bad about getting it, to be honest, because my fiance was supposed to be getting me a steam cleaner for Christmas. And then last Monday, I had a conversation with somebody who I work with, and she recommended me this specific seam cleaner that she uses. And I know that she only uses like really good quality stuff. So I was like, oh, I'll have a look at it. It was a bit out of my fiance's price range, but it was also available on installments by Barclays in Amazon. And so I bought myself it. And so my fiance has now had to find another Christmas present for me, which is really kind of me. I felt a bit tight, to be honest, but there you go. Anyway, the steam cleaner came on Wednesday and it's mint. I'm not ever going to have to touch an oily cooker hood again in my life. Well, as long as it
Mm,
works, because that sounds a bit forever. But the sensory element of cleaning is horrible for me. I hate
mm,
the feel of oil and I get really grimmed out And so I tend to not do it, and then it builds up because that's how it works. And with the shower and stuff, it's like housework is tricky. And yes, I've used the steam cleaner and it is brilliant. I've cleaned the shower without even getting into the shower, without having to worry about getting my feet wet while I was
Mm,
cleaning from the water. So I would say to anybody who doesn't like cleaning, who struggles with sensory elements and stuff, invest in the steam cleaner because it is genuinely one of the best purchases.
mm,
And it doesn't use any chemicals. So it takes 1.2 litres of water and that lasts about half an hour. So when I'm using that to clean, now I've cleaned the shower properly, which took like two. There's probably another tank full that I could do to make it like spot on 100%. It's probably going to do the shower and everything I need it to do in one tank load. And there's
mm,
no chemicals. So it's a really nice, safe way to clean and it doesn't involve any sensory stuff. Apart from the noise, it's quite loud, but
mm.
you know,
Well, I mean, I hope they never listen to this, but I've got cleaners and they're quite loud as well. So
that's true.
no different to them, but it makes such a difference, I think, because I think some neurodivergent people cleaning will be like top of their priorities list. They can't not have everything spotless, but my thing is getting overwhelmed. I know that it's not horrendous, but I also don't know where to start. And some days, like with my mobility and things, I find that difficult as well. Or I'll do it and then for a couple of days afterwards, I'll not be able to walk, and it's like, is it worth it? But being able to have a house that's reasonably clean, it makes the rest of the stuff easier, like tidying and things like that, I've found.
Yeah,
Like all you've got to do is just put a few things away.
yeah. I know that ADHD makes it harder because of the chaos and
Mm,
more clutter. It does make it harder to tidy, not necessarily clean, but tidy.
mm,
But I think on top of the ADHD chaos, the sensory issues around cleaning that's been the issue for me. I know it's the overwhelm, but I mean the
mm.
meds have made it a lot easier for me. Like yesterday, I probably did too much, and then I've overdone it, and then I've been knackered today. But as you said, having it at a higher base level just means that it's less overwhelming to start with.
I think so. And
Yeah.
it's knowing where to start, and then you tend to beat yourself up, not more than a neurotypical person, but I think it's the same as anything else. Like when you say something and then you overthink it afterwards, cleaning can be like that as well. You think that
Yeah.
people are going to come round to your house and judge you,
Yeah.
and generally they're not. And I don't necessarily have to have that worry anymore because somebody does it for me, and then I can just keep on top of the little stuff.
I mean, my fiance keeps on top of the cluttery stuff because he doesn't really like clutter. So that makes
Yeah,
it easier for me to do the cleaning bits.
my husband is a collector of things,
Yes.
clothes, random objects. He likes to be able to, as you know, have something in case you need it. So,
Yeah,
like, yeah, I think he gave you a kitchen roll once when you came round, didn't he?
he did, yeah. A giant one.
Hmm.
Plenty.
Yeah, he likes to be useful, bless him. So,
Yeah, he is useful.
but sometimes that means that there's an excess of things
Yeah.
that I end up being the one to put them away.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's our weeks summed up nicely.
Pretty much, yeah.
So we're gonna do a little bit of a Christmas rave because we tried to find a Christmas rave. We've got Tismversary things to talk
Mm.
about. We were looking for a birthday rave and then we were looking for Christmas rave. If we talk about Tismversary things first.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to talk about, is there,
There isn't, but
aside
we need
from
to show
that?
our products on the screen.
Yeah,
Our products. I have some cheese and crackers.
yes.
Yeah, there we go.
So,
That's for the benefit of the people watching on video. There is my truffle infused cheddar because I'm having
yeah.
Christmas cheeses at the minute and some standard cream crackers. I've also got donuts on the other side, and Claire has.
So, yeah, just to recap for people that might not have seen the last episode or listened to the last episode, it is my 1 year anniversary of my autism diagnosis. It will have been by the time
Yes.
this goes out,
Yes.
but it's in a couple of days' time. So I bought cake for myself. We're not sponsored by the co-op, but if they want to sponsor us, and then we will put the picture on our socials of the cake that my mum has made for me, which is amazing, and it's made us both smile today, hasn't it?
I have to say, I did exclaim loudly when I got the picture. I was very impressed. You have done a very good job, Claire's mum.
Yes.
So have a double mention this week.
Yeah. I was going to say she's had a mention. Maybe that's why she's doing it. Just make me cake every week and then I'll keep mentioning you. But you
Yeah.
don't have to do that.
But yeah, it's a Tism cake, and that is what Claire wanted and needed. So I am, yeah, I was chuffed to bits when I saw that picture.
I was like busy with something and then all of a sudden this popped up on my messenger and I'm like, oh my God, because I didn't know she was going to do it either. And it's just, if you don't end up seeing it on our socials, I'm presuming it's like a Victoria sponge or something, but it's iced and it just says Tism on the top of it.
Perfect.
But she said, I almost didn't want to send it to you because the tism's not in the middle. And I didn't want you and Emma to go, oh, that's not straight. I'm like, no, that wasn't like
We're not
it.
that. I mean, if anyone had seen us trying to construct this Christmas background that we've got on, they
Mm,
might have thought we were that harsh, but we're not
mm,
that harsh. Come on. I
mm.
think the level of impress from
Yeah.
what had happened, and I mean, I'm looking at the picture again now. It's fine. It's
Oh, the
fine.
tism cake.
Yeah.
Well, it's my sister's birthday tomorrow. So she's made my sister one for her birthday as well. And she sent me a picture and she's like, oh, well, your sister's not going to be impressed because. And then she showed me the stencil that said 39. I'm like, she's definitely not going to be impressed, Mum, because she's not 39. She's not 39 for a year. Like, my sister would have been aged by a year if I'd have not also had a tism cake. So
Oh
that
my
is another
God.
benefit of my autism diagnosis, is
Yeah.
that I
You can tell your mum how old her daughter
yeah,
is.
my mum could put the 38 on the cake instead of the 39.
Well, there we go.
And I was
All
just
all
like,
all positives.
I'm like, I'm 39. I also didn't get a cake for my birthday, but I suppose I did for my
You got your Tismversary.
autismversary.
Yeah.
I hope it's a thing every year now.
We'll just remind her, won't we?
Yeah, we
That's
should have done. I don't think I can think about it now, but I should have done the things that I've learnt in my first year of autism.
I think that would have taken more than a podcast, to be honest.
Mm. Well, it was just been like the highlights. I
You
said last
could
time, isn't it? Like highlight reel of my autism.
you could maybe do like a top 10 things that you've
Mm.
learned and post it on the socials on Thursday. I think it's
I
Thursday.
might do that,
You
yeah.
could do that.
I might
And
do
then,
that. If I haven't done it and you're listening to this, then I'm sorry about it.
yeah, it's all right. I won't hold it against you, and I don't think the listeners will
Mm.
either. And then also, before we go into Christmas, we can talk briefly about June Spoon,
I
the
wonder what you're
last
going to say then.
episode title. It was an interesting one, the last one to edit, because I did it on my own because of everything that
Mm.
was happening with Bernie. And or mostly apart from the last 6 minutes, which I said I would do and then didn't. And then Claire
We
had
were going to meet, weren't we? And then my brain just broke.
broke, but
And I don't think
that's
that
all.
any editing would have been helpful.
But it was all right and it was fine.
It was.
But it did mean that we didn't have the normal list of descriptisms. And I just kind of sent a couple over to Claire. And June Spoon was awesome.
You
And it
spoon?
was due a spoonless episode.
Yeah.
And then, because normally it's Claire that writes all the names down as we go in through editing it. And yeah,
Mm.
that's the thing that I don't have the attention span. Uh,
No, but you'd started to
I
send them
did.
to me,
I
hadn't
sent a
you,
couple
as you were
through.
doing them, and then
Yeah, then everything
and there's
happened.
still a little bit of the ADHD there on an evening because you'd got to 6 minutes left, and then,
Then I stopped.
which was fine because it like literally took me 2 minutes, and I thought one of the funniest parts of the last episode, which sounds really headed of me, but when we were talking about the sloths,
Yeah,
which we will come back to later because we
we
have
will.
Sloth Acts
Thank you.
.tm um to go over, but like a sloth on a sofa, I think that just illustrated where my brain was at on the day of that recording. I
Yeah.
listened to it and I'm just like, genuinely don't remember saying that. And you just went, I don't know. Like it was a genuine question. I don't
Every
know.
question is a genuine question. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Everything deserves a
Maybe
thought.
maybe a sloth would have a sofa. Yeah, maybe it'd be a recliner. I'm like just listening to it thinking we had lost the plot by that point,
But yeah,
if
it
we
was
had any to begin with.
we
But
didn't have plots. But anyway, so without further ado, we have a different rave. Are
it's
you
the
ready?
Christmas
The Christmas
Tismversary rave.
Tismversary rave. Here we go. There we go. Well, that was meant. I liked it.
Beautiful. It was our favourite.
Well, you see, the thing is, there's no Christmas raves on Pixabay,
No,
and there was
but
no
I don't
birthday
want to
raves.
shame the musician who created that song.
I think it was meant.
Yeah,
I saw the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy, and I was like, right. And then I saw techno, and I was like, right, sure, why not?
yeah. But we listened to it and we thought it might be a bit dramatic, but then like that suits our vibe.
Suits us. We are dramatic people. So we're going to talk a little bit today about Christmas. I'm doing this whole marketing thing where I'm doing exploring neurodivergence for your elf, where my elf is in various different predicaments due to neurodivergence. And I did a post about present giving, and Claire responded saying this is definitely a big important one.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, we could do a Christmas themed podcast main section and talk about quite a few of the things, because there's a lot about Christmas that is overwhelming. I mean, it's the hardest half term in school for kids because of all of the change and all of the pressure from nativities and Christmas carol concerts and different out lunches and different clothes and different Christmas jumper days and Christmas fair and all that stuff. And then you've got added things socially, and that's just for kids, you know. For adults, it's all of the overwhelm and navigating.
Mm.
I mean, for me, helping my son whilst also figuring out my own stuff. I really like Christmas as a concept and as a day in itself.
Mhm.
And I love my Christmas tree and the wooden decorations that we've got. And I love food. Like having an extra excuse to eat lots of cheese is nice and happy. And I love having forced time off. This Christmas is the first time in 20 years that I've not got to work between Christmas and New Year because I don't have any wages clients left from my old business. So I won't have to open my laptop between the 23rd and the 2nd, apart from to record a podcast potentially, which is a different case. But I don't
Mm.
have to work. There's a lot to talk about on this subject.
I think we could literally go. You've got a traits list for autism, haven't you? And you could literally go through each one and find a way that
Yeah,
Christmas is difficult to manage with
yeah,
that.
yeah,
For me, I think a lot of it is the pressure, like because of black and white thinking, you are advertising starts as soon as bonfire night's done, really, doesn't it?
yeah,
And then it builds up and it builds up and it builds up. And you're being told you need to buy this, you need to buy that, you need to get this, you need to get that. Everybody needs a present that's so like meaningful and special. And the Christmas dinner, like one of the things that I was thinking about the other day is when I first moved in with my husband, when we first ever moved in together. I remember going around the supermarket a few days before Christmas thinking I need to buy all this Christmas food and things like that, and getting really stressed out because it was really, really busy and everybody was stressed. And I don't even know why I did that aside from black and white thinking and like the pressure telling me that I needed to, because we don't even spend Christmas Day at home generally. We'll go to family members, and I've never cooked a Christmas dinner in my life. My husband has never cooked a Christmas dinner. But it because of how, like, I suppose it's a consumerism thing, isn't it? How it's set to just be, you need to be so prepared, and people will come to me and always say, "Oh, have you got all your Christmas shopping done yet? Have you wrapped it all?" And I'm like, "Is it Christmas Eve? Because if not, no." Because that is the only way that I've ever been able to cope with it. Generally, I'll have a list, which is an autistic thing, or a list on my phone, and I'll tick things off as they come. And because of the whole sort of like habit thing, generally what people get from me one year will be very similar to the next year. Like somebody will get chocolates, but a different variation of that. My husband will get a different game or some different beer, because that's the only way that I can make it the pressure on me, that it doesn't come from anybody, but that's just how it's sort of like, it makes you feel like you've got to be prepared for Christmas.
Yeah.
That's the only way that I've been able to do it most years, and that was before even knowing that I was autistic. So when you look at it with that frame of mind now, the lists and getting people the same things and the overwhelm of it all, and you're just like, oh yeah, it's not just because I'm a Grinch and I don't like Christmas. It's just that I find it really, really overwhelming, and it's almost not an excuse, but a reason to go, actually, it's okay that it's overwhelming and you
Yeah.
don't have to do everything. Like this year, I've said to my family, look, if you don't tell me what you want, then I will just tell you what I think. And like, I presume that you've all liked what I've bought you in past years. So, like, if you want something specific, tell me. Otherwise, you're just getting what you're getting.
Yeah.
And I've even said to my husband, I'm not really bothered about anything. If I want something, I'll buy it for myself, as you know, with your pressure washer.
Yeah.
Like, you don't wait around for, like, because you're an adult now as well, you don't wait around for somebody to just buy you something at Christmas. If you like something, you'll tend to buy it yourself throughout the year.
Yeah. I mean,
And
I know with my son's dad, I messaged him the other day because I was getting his gift. And I messaged him the other day saying, Have, are you going to buy this? And he came back eventually. And I'm like, are you going to buy it next year? And he came back probably. I'm like, right, fine. I will chance that, because it's not the time of year. And I was saying this to my son yesterday. We went for a walk and he was talking about this thing that he wants and that thing that he wants. And I'm like, well, we're not buying anything because we don't know what you're going to get for Christmas. It's not the time of year to go and buy yourself something. If there's something that comes up
oh,
now, it's like, oh, it's near Christmas. I can ask for this from XYZ person. But generally throughout the year, if there's something comes up in summer, you're not going to wait and think, oh, well, I'll just so that someone has something to buy me for Christmas.
mm,
And the thing about presents and autism is that there's so much overthinking. Like if you're giving, it's how to communicate the way that you feel about somebody through a gift, which is
uh-huh,
a lot of pressure because you don't want to get something that means too little. You don't want to get something that means too much. You don't want to get something that they're not going to appreciate or they're not going to want. And then often we kind of wait until the last minute and end up getting something that doesn't actually convey anything important at all.
mm,
And on the receiving side, when you're asking someone for something, it's like, what price range am I asking for? You don't want to ask for too much, you don't want to ask for too little, but then you want to ask for something so that you know that you're not going to be disappointed by what they get you. Because the whole opening presents in front of people thing, I mean, that's never really been a bother for me, but I know it is for a lot of people. I know quite a few people that open presents in a different room or they take them home to open because they don't want to open them and then have a like transparent facial expression that basically says, well, this is crap. It's never really been a thing for me because I'm generally happy with things. I've not got very high standards, so I'll be happy with most things. But yeah, it's a tricky one all around. It's
mm,
gift giving and it gets harder. I mean, my son's very, very difficult to buy for, and he's only 7. So if he's already difficult to buy for, I'm hoping that it doesn't get
mm,
any more challenging as he gets older because it's really hard work. And my fiance, I've always got him some kind of experience, like a day out, for us
mm,
both. Last year, I got him a stargazing experience. The year before that, we went otter feeding. And then this year he asked me to buy him something different. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. But now I'm like, but I'm not getting him a gift experience, because that's
Mm,
the theme that I go for. Like you've said, it's the same thing every year, isn't it? I get the same
mm-hmm.
thing for my brothers every birthday, I always get my mum the same thing for her birthday. I get the same kind of pattern of things for people. So getting something different from my fiance this year is just like, okay, that's fine. It's fine because that's what he wants. But I'm like, it's fine,
Mm,
it's fine. And then it kind of makes you question, doesn't it? That, oh, well, has he not wanted me to get these for him every other year? And it's been a disappointment. But I know for a fact that that's not the case. But
no,
it's
I
tricky
think
to navigate, isn't it?
it's nice when somebody asks you for what they want, says,
Yes.
I'm interested in this game or that thing, and you can just go, right, yeah, I can do that. And most probably you'll get another opportunity to buy him another gift experience over the coming years anyway.
I'll
So,
probably get him one for his birthday. Because normally
mm,
we do the thing around his birthday, we do the thing that I bought
yeah,
for Christmas. So
mm,
realistically, I'll probably just get him something and then plan it to do it at the same
yeah,
time. But there's a lot, I mean, the different, even environments, even when you go to someone's house, if you're used to going there, there's more like I'll be going to my mum's on Boxing Day. I always go to my mum's on Boxing Day, and my whole family will be there. And having the whole family there, there's often, and apart from my son, the kids are all like over 10.
mm,
So there's a lot of people. There's like 12 of us, I think. I don't even know if that adds up, but I think there's 12 of us, sometimes more, in the same house for a good few hours. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And I mean, my mum's is obviously a safe space for me and it's somewhere that I'm
mm,
comfortable. There's a lot of people there. And yeah, it's always the day that I look forward to. And then everyone goes and we sit and just breathe like
mm.
afterwards.
But
There's
it's
a
an
lot.
energy thing as
Yeah,
well, isn't it? Like in a similar vein to any social situation, that you have it and you can appreciate it, but then afterwards you're just like, and I think a lot of that for me as well is there's all that build up for one day, and then afterwards you're just a bit like, I don't really know what to do now because it's gone again until next
yeah,
year.
the crash.
And that can, as well as the sort of spoonlessness that the day can bring on afterwards, it's also the time then between Christmas and New Year
Yes,
is a bit of a limbo time where you can have cheese for breakfast. Well, you can't have cheese for breakfast, but
you can.
theoretically, yeah, you could have cheese for breakfast and nobody's going to judge you for that. Or, you can have a glass of Baileys at 3 p.m. or you can, what I mean? It's a very, when you think about that, can be a really dysregulating time, can't it? Because you're out of your routine as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's completely out of routine. The whole thing is out of routine.
Mm,
And nobody knows
that's just,
what day it is. And it's not a normal time of
no.
year. It's not, it can be a relief to get, although it's great to have the enforced rest and things that I've already said, it's confusing. And then going back to work on the second, which is a Friday, it's like, yeah, it's a whole time of not knowing what day it is and what's happening. And
Yeah, I tend to, if I can, work through Christmas for that reason because it keeps some sort of structure to it.
yeah,
I mean, other people will always say, "Oh, I'll have the time off to spend with kids," and I'm like, "Well, I haven't got any kids, so you crack on." And I'll just come in, but I'll still do what I would usually do during that week. I'll just be a bit more relaxed about it,
yeah,
and especially having worked in jobs before where I've worked on Christmas Day, that's worked for me to sort of keep the sort of structure in those 2 weeks that you just don't have otherwise because it's limbo. So it'll be interesting for me this year because I'm only working, I think, 3 days over Christmas. I could have booked it all off, but equally, I don't think I'd want to. I'm glad I've got the touching base days where I can get a few bits done.
I used to like going in between Christmas and New Year because it was a time that nobody else was in the office and the office was quiet and I could just get the
Mm.
work done without any interruptions.
Yeah.
And it's always been a really productive time for me until my son was born. And my partner's always, until he started spending Christmas with us, he's always worked. between Christmas and New Year. So though it's only the past few years that we both take the full time off, and then when my son's not here, we've got that little bit of time together, which we don't often get, without him, because normally one or both of us are working.
Yeah. So any one of those things in itself, the change of routine, the pressure, the whole social aspect of it,
Yeah. Overwhelm,
the overwhelm,
food
the
differs,
yeah, the
pressure to
when the
eat what everyone else is eating,
yeah.
um,
It's as
do
broad
those
as it's
things.
long, really, isn't it? Because there's the change of routine in the terms of you not eating what you usually would do. So sometimes keeping to that structure is helpful, especially if you're someone that would find it difficult to go back to that structure after Christmas.
Yeah.
But then also in terms of like party food and things like that, around this time of year, that's what my husband will get. Because if we're out at family, or even if you don't necessarily want a lot in an evening. So
We'll
you'll just have
probably
a
have,
few of them, and it's also like if you're overwhelmed, it's an easy thing to just chuck a few of them in, and then you've got a bit of variety.
I mean, we'll probably have a party food day on Christmas Eve, and we'll probably have a party food on one of the days between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah.
And they'll be my two. But I mean, my son eats the same thing anyway, regardless of what we're eating or
Mm-hmm.
doing, he eats the same thing anyway. And finding the party food that works for my fiance, who is quite restrictive with what he eats,
Mm-hmm.
it's difficult to find. And I would normally get like the most fancy, weird sounding, extravagant ones, because anything that sounds remotely weird or interesting, I'm all
Mm-hmm.
over. Whereas my fiance is just like, why would you? No, I don't want that. That sounds too weird. So it's become more hassle than it's worth, I think, for a lot of it. But then at the same time, that's made it a lot easier for me, because we'll have a mixed grill on Christmas Day and we'll have a cheese board. But I don't really eat any differently through this time of year. So the expectation would be that I might, and that I used to,
Mm-hmm.
but acknowledging that you don't have to, I think, is the key, is that you don't have to behave any way
Yeah.
other than how you want to and how it works for
Yeah.
you and your family, and whatever you want to do is okay. And I mean, try
Yeah.
and take a bit of the pressure away, because as long as you know what your family mean to you and they know what they mean to
Mm-hmm.
you, and there's like a mutual respect for the fact that everyone has to do what they need to do for themselves.
Yeah, I think that's a lot
Christmas.
of reasons, but I mean, it sounds like we're just moaning about Christmas, doesn't it? It's just important to recognize that if it feels pressured or it feels stimulating, that's okay, and recognize the reasons for that and try and put things in place that are gonna
Yeah.
help you. Like one of your examples that made me say about it was the Christmas card, wasn't it? And I have always struggled to send people Christmas cards.
Mm.
And essentially, it's probably one of my autistic viewpoints in that I just don't see the point.
Yeah, there's
Because
a
you're
lot of
writing on a
them.
piece of paper that somebody's going to keep for a week and then they're going to put it in the bin.
Yeah.
But I know that a lot of people attach meaning to those
Yeah.
things and that's important to them. It's just that I've never been able to do that.
Yeah,
So
I don't send
when,
cards really now.
no, but I mean, that's one of the things that I was like, I'll make a donation in your name.
Yeah.
That's more meaningful for me. But then it's recognizing now that different people find different things meaningful, which
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
is a very autistic thing. Is that just because I don't see a point to it doesn't mean that other people don't.
yeah.
But then equally, if I find it really stressful, it's okay to just be honest and say
Yeah.
you're probably not going to get a Christmas card. I think we'd said like in the space of 20 or so years that we've known each other. I've sent you a Christmas card one year. You've meant to send me a Christmas card, but you've still got it from last year. And like, I will get it eventually.
Yeah. I don't think it sounds like we're moaning about Christmas. I think it's rationalizing it. At
Mm.
the end of the day, I like
Mm.
Christmas as a concept. I really like Christmas music. Oh, not all of
Oh,
it.
yeah, I like
Not all
Christmas
of it.
music. That's probably one of my favourite parts of it.
Yeah. But there's a lot of the atmospheric things when you can kind of be removed from it. Like I used to really like going around the Christmas markets when it was a bit quieter, when I used to work in Manchester, and just because of the lights and the smells and that kind of sensory side of it when it's not in your face.
Mm.
And like the Christmassy, like the wintry smells and things.
I think one of the things I
Very
probably
good.
like most about Christmas is food.
Yeah.
Because like, I think we've established before on this podcast and in my life that one of my favourite things is a buffet. And there's a lot of buffets at Christmas.
Yes. There are buffets.
And when you think about the music as well, that really makes sense because, like, you attach the meaning to music and it's how, like, because you hear the music every year,
Yeah.
it reminds you of how you felt on previous Christmases.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice experiences.
I
So,
did a post this morning on my social media because I was at my son's Christmas Carol concert and he's not singing. He didn't sing in the concert. And I did a post on socials because I'm like, the Christmas Carol concert is here. This is the morning where I spend half an hour stood in a church crying, watching other people's children singing because kids singing Christmas carols, pretty much anyone singing Christmas carols, especially if it's like Silent Night. And it was on a Starry Night, which was my favourite one when I was a kid. It's always been my favourite Christmas carol. I just get really emotional with Christmas carols, particularly. And so I just got in the car to drive home and put the Wombles on because that makes everything better.
yes,
Hmm.
yes.
But yeah, so Christmas, lots and lots of big things.
So it's okay to have some overwhelm and to find ways to make Christmas work for you.
Yes.
If it's something that you celebrate, we might have listeners that don't celebrate Christmas
Oh,
or celebrate
probably.
other religious holidays, and that's okay too.
Yeah. So I think that summarizes our main segment, and we're not going to have a trait of the week because we've already discussed about 20 traits while we were talking about Christmas.
Yes,
That's correct, isn't it?
yes. But we are going to talk about sloths
Briefly,
briefly, and then I'm going to tell you about my
octopuses.
octopus situation.
Yes, so sloths. This is a mention for my mum because as we started recording the podcast, my mum sent me a message which says, I don't think sloths need sofas. That's a throwback to last podcast, to June Spoon. But an interesting fact is that they can hold their breath for 40 minutes. And I was just like, wow, that's sure. Okay, that is
Ooh.
an interesting fact. So we had a quick Google, and there's mixed opinions of whether sloths can actually hold their breath for 40 minutes underwater. On average, it's around 15 minutes, it says, but then
Hmm.
it depends. And there are some really reputable places that say 40 minutes, and then there are some that say, no, this is a myth. So I think sloths being able to hold their breath underwater for a long time is
We
right.
said, didn't we, there will be a world record for humans that humans held the breath for X amount of time.
Yeah.
But I don't mean I can.
No, that's true.
But sloths do have the ability to, in any case, hold their breath for vast amounts of time.
Yeah.
Maximum 40 minutes.
Well, you wouldn't expect it from a sloth, would you?
No,
They don't look like
no.
the kind of animal that would need to.
Because we didn't realise that they swam, did we?
No, never
That
thought
was the
about a
thing
sloth
that
swimming before.
transpired when we were fact checking.
So there you go. Thanks, Mum.
Thanks,
Perfect
Emma's
timing.
mum,
Good job.
for the sloth facts.
Sloth
If you've
facts.
got any facts about any other animals, not just Emma's mum, because that would be a lot of pressure on Emma's
No
mum.
pressure. Anyone has any
Any of our listeners, you can send them. And the other
more
things that you want to
questions,
send to
autism
that,
related things,
yeah, to
feedback?
that'll be the tism@gmail.com.
Yes, or
Vicious
messages on socials.
capitals.
We're quite happy to talk to people on social media as well in DMs.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Mm,
Send us an animal or something. It doesn't have to be about animals.
no, it can be any questions about Tism, any feedback, anything. Yeah.
You've been talking to one of our listeners/friends this week about the war, haven't you? War documentaries.
Yes, I have to watch another one.
Mm.
I need to find it. My fiance was quite amused actually because one of our listeners sent us a link to her favourite World War II documentary. We are watching World of War, which is a 26-hour long documentary, and the first couple of episodes just sent me to sleep nicely because I was just adjusting to my meds and I was having big crashes on an evening, and I'm not so much now, thankfully. But the guy's voice. And it's weird because it was made in the 70s, right? The music they show when there's no sound on the videos, they play this music, but it really doesn't fit. It's like really uplifting almost music. It's weird to like these horrible images of people being led to concentration camps and stuff. It's so bizarre, but it's quite interesting. But yes, so I have World War Two in Colour is the documentary that was recommended by our listener that I am going to try and find. My partner was quite amused because when we looked it up on IMDb, it listed Hitler as himself and Winston Churchill as himself, and he found it amusing that Hitler has his own IMDb
Of course
thing.
he does. How else would they have credited him when he was in that Disney film?
Well, that's true. Yeah, what?
I'm joking.
I was just like, what are you talking
Did they not
about?
know that Hitler was in Moana?
I'm so confused. I wasn't
Oh, you
prepared for
agreeing?
that.
And I'm like, is Hitler in a Disney film? Have I just accidentally spoken the truth?
I just, I just, yeah, anyway, never mind.
We'll
I
have to look at his Wikipedia and find out.
Literal thinking.
Yeah. The
Anyway,
Hangover 3, the Scream movies. He was in them all. Maybe. Allegedly.
oh,
I'm going to tell you about octopuses now.
God.
So, where this has stemmed from is that we were watching Have I Got News for You on Friday night, and they were talking about this man that has taught an octopus how to play the piano. And I was like, what? I need to look more at that. And then we went up to bed, and it was still on my mind, and I'm just like, I can't go down this rabbit hole now. I can't do it. So I sent myself an email to look at it in the morning, and I did. And what it is, this guy, he's called Matthias Krantz, and he's Swedish,
Good name.
a musician. It's a YouTube video, he's a YouTuber. And he just decided that because octopuses are quite intelligent, and the reason why he thought that, which is my first octopus fact, is that octopuses have 9 brains.
What, 9 brains?
Yeah, they have 9 brains. They have obviously the main one, and then technically you would constitute it as a brain because it's a collection of neurons, one on each of the legs. So the
I was going
legs
to say,
can
are the
be
underlegs?
independent of each other.
Ah,
Yeah. So he was like, well, I'm sure that I can teach it to play the piano. Anyway, it took him 6 months, and the music's not the best, but then it is an octopus. So he'd 3D printed. He had 3 versions of piano for the octopus. He rescued it from like a live food things, like you can buy
okay.
live lobsters and things. Well, he
Yeah.
went there and he got this octopus from there. He looked at various options. He did look at a lobster, but he was like, no, it's too snappy.
This is like, that's not my piano playing
That's
animal.
not my piano playing
That's too
animal.
snappy.
So yeah, and the octopus was called takoyaki,
Good name.
which is, I think, a name for octopus sushi.
Sounds right. Sounds about right.
But yeah, the short name, you called him Taco for short. So Taco, over a period of 6 months, had 3 pianos, and he wasn't getting it because they like to push rather than pull.
Okay.
So he'd made different keys that could do that, but he just wasn't interested in playing more than a couple of notes at a time. So he made, and this is my favourite thing that I've ever seen somebody do. He made, well, it's not my favourite thing that I've ever seen somebody do, but it's rather good when I
When you
tell
read it,
you.
it was your favourite thing in that
Now,
moment.
what he did, he realised that the octopus really liked and was motivated by crabs. So he built a little elevator for the crab and put the crab in at the top, and every time the octopus, this is genuinely true, played a note, the crab would move down in the crab elevator. So he was motivated to play the piano by the crab elevator.
The crab getting closer each time he played
Yeah,
a note.
it was like that, but a crab. It's like this crab just descending to its doom. But then eventually the octopus liked playing the piano so much that he just was letting all the crabs out and they were just biting him while he was playing the piano.
Wow.
So he can play it in the end thing was like the octopus playing the piano and this man playing the guitar next to him, and it was like a tune. But 6 months it took him, and I'm like, that's dedication. And
It
then
is.
at the end, he was like, this Matthias was like, oh, and I thought now he's learned this. I'm just gonna take him back to the sea where he belongs, and like it shows you like the video of him taking him back to the sea, and I'm like, you better not put that octopus back in the sea. You need to keep that octopus until its very dying day because. A, it's a captive one, and B, like it knows how to play piano now. What is it going to do if you put it back in sea? But anyway, it was a joke.
It'll
So that was
find the
my
piano.
autistic moment because I went when he was like, "Oh, I'm going to take it back to the sea now." I'm like, "No," but he didn't. He's still, as far as I know, he's still got it
Yeah.
because another octopus fact that I found out, or that I think I already knew, but I reminded myself of, is that they only last like 1 to 2 years,
Yeah.
and a big reason for that is because of their mating rituals.
Oh,
Just bringing it back round
just
to,
bringing it back to the normal
yeah.
topic conversation
It's
here.
a very short one, and when I read it, I thought, do you know what? That's probably like the perfect octopus related fact to end on because the male octopus, it has a specific arm for mating,
Okay.
and once it's mated, its arm falls off and it dies. So that's the dad gone. And then the mum will protect the eggs, all the octopus eggs. She won't eat, she won't sleep until the octopuses hatch, the baby octopuses hatch, and quite often she will die before they hatch. But they have been observed in the past to like do themselves in to like not prolong the misery of sitting on their babies until they die of starvation.
Wow.
So like 1 to 2 years for females as well, because their sole purpose is to like bring more baby octopuses into the world, and then they die.
What a life.
So, Merry Christmas, everyone.
That's how we're ending the
Yeah.
That'll Be the Tism Christmas podcast. Octopuses have miserable lives.
If you think that
If
your
you
life
think
is
it's bad,
difficult,
could be worse.
try being an octopus. Good night.
So thank you for listening, everybody. I hope you have a lovely Christmas if it's not happened yet, or had a lovely Christmas if it has happened, and or just ignore it's all happening if you don't celebrate it. And
Yeah.
have some cheese on us on or not if you can't have cheese, just have a nice time in
If you
general.
don't have cheese, because some people choose not to for
Yeah, that's not,
ethical
yeah. If you
reasons
can't or
as
don't
well.
want to, then don't. But have a nice happy time.
Have a nice time. Have a time that is what you
Joyous for
want it
you.
to be.
Hmm.
Or
And
don't.
or don't. Just do what you want. Just
Do what you
we
like.
will be recording just before New Year, and the next episode will be with you just into on the 4th of January
Mm.
2026.
Yes, this will be the last episode of
Um,
Autism
Enjoy your New Year
in
celebrations if you are doing
2025.
that also.
Mm.
And then we'll be here for a full year next year, hopefully. We won't
Just
be starting
constantly
midway through the year.
recording.
We won't be in Spotify's new podcast breakdown next year. We'll be in the Spotify's
Old
existing
podcast.
podcast. I don't know. But yeah, it would be very nice if you listen to the podcast to give us a rating
Mm.
because Spotify shows more people the more ratings you have. And so we want to tell more people about autism and animal facts,
Yeah.
and that would be nice. Thank you.
Yes.
And all of our links are at linktr.ee/, that'll be the Tism.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you've enjoyed this podcast that has been brought to you by Emma and Claire.
Whoever they are.
You are the weakest link. No.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for coming. Bye.